Alabama is a state that radiates warmth, not just from the strong southern sun, but also from its people, who are famously welcoming and friendly. Here, a stranger can quickly become a friend with just a quick chat over sweet tea at a local cafe or a shared moment of excitement in a crowded football stadium. Alabama is a place steeped in comforting cuisine, deeply held traditions, and beautiful landscapes that range from tranquil rivers to stunning coastlines. Yet, beneath this charm and hospitality lies a troubling irony. Homelessness remains a serious issue in Alabama. In the midst of laughter and strong community ties, there are those who are less fortunate, living on the margins of the warmth and togetherness that Alabamians hold so dear. In Alabama, an estimated 3,752 people are experiencing homelessness. That's about 7.5 people out of every 10,000 residents. Single individuals make up the majority of this population, totaling around 2,482 people. Notably, veterans represent 308 of these individuals, a number that surpasses the 169 unaccompanied youth also facing homelessness. When it comes to racial demographics, homelessness does not affect all groups equally. African Americans are disproportionately impacted. They make up approximately 53% of Alabama's homeless population, despite accounting for only about 27% of the state's total population. By contrast, white individuals make up around 42% of the homeless population in Alabama. Poverty is one of the primary forces driving homelessness in Alabama, where the poverty rate stands at roughly 16.1%, significantly higher than the national average. Many people in Alabama face daily struggles to make ends meet, especially as housing costs continue to rise, leaving few affordable housing options. In Montgomery alone, a count conducted on a single night in 2022 identified 278 people experiencing homelessness. By 2023, that number had risen to 345. Though Alabama's unemployment rate is relatively low, at around 2.3%, many people still find it challenging to earn enough to cover basic living expenses, particularly housing. Even those who are employed often struggle to secure stable, suitable housing. Furthermore, mental health and substance addiction frequently intertwine with homelessness, compounding the issue. Unfortunately, Alabama's support services in these areas remain limited. Only about 35% of adults with mental health issues receive treatment, and addiction support services are similarly sparse. This reality presents a stark contrast to Alabama's image of Southern hospitality and community spirit, revealing a complex and persistent issue that touches the lives of many Alabamians. In March 2024, the Mobile Police Department launched a specialized undercover operation aimed at cracking down on prostitution cases within the city. This effort, supported by the Tactical Intelligence Unit, led to the Narcotics Unit successfully apprehending 8 individuals involved in illegal activities. The operation is part of a broader initiative by law enforcement to tackle illicit activities like prostitution, especially in areas heavily impacted by these issues. By working undercover, officers were able to gather solid evidence, ensuring that legal actions could be effectively pursued. Despite Alabama's clear penalties, prostitution is classified as a Class A misdemeanor, carrying up to a 1-year jail sentence and a $6,000 fine. The sex trade continues to thrive in certain parts of the city. Recently, human trafficking cases across Alabama have brought even more disturbing aspects of this issue to light. There are organized groups using coercion, threats, and violence to force adults and minors alike into prostitution. In 2024, several people from Montgomery were even charged with transporting victims across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, underscoring the vast and often multi-jurisdictional nature of this problem. Complicating matters further, some spas in Alabama have also come under suspicion for allegedly operating as fronts for illegal prostitution, blurring the lines between legal businesses and covert criminal operations.
We want that just to kind of be the beginning in a lot of ways. Each precinct commander has community action groups within their precinct.
Do you think it's possible for these people to get back on their feet?
Yes, absolutely.
Crime rates in Alabama reflect a troubling trend. In Birmingham, street gangs and drug traffickers appear to be strengthening their foothold, forming powerful alliances with national gangs and international drug cartels. These alliances allow local gangs to tap into larger, more organized networks, giving them increased access to supplies and support for their drug trade and violent activities on the streets. Meanwhile, international drug dealers and street gangs have begun to eye Birmingham and its suburban areas as prime territories for expanding their operations. Once quiet communities like Homewood, Vestavia Hills, Hoover, and Mountain Brook may soon see a surge in crime rates, ranging from armed robberies to serious violence. Birmingham faces a critical challenge in law enforcement. The city currently has around 300 officers on duty, while its annual budget assessment indicates that a force of 900 would be required to ensure public safety. With a limited number of officers available, the Birmingham metro area is struggling to meet the mounting challenges posed by the expanding drug trade and gang activity. Organized crime in the region has become more structured, better funded, and connected to extensive networks, making it harder for local police to keep pace. Law enforcement agencies in Jefferson County, including local, state, and federal bodies, may lack the experience and resources needed to counter criminal operations with an international scope. As crime becomes increasingly complex and pervasive, the task of restoring safety and stability in Birmingham grows ever more daunting for Alabama's under-resourced police forces.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Let me explain something to you, partner.
Excuse me.
Excuse
me. No, sir.
The surge in violent crime around the Birmingham metropolitan area is largely driven by the trafficking of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is both incredibly potent and alarmingly lethal. According to USA Facts, Alabama recorded 1,492 drug overdose deaths in 2022, the highest figure since 1999. This equates to roughly 29 overdose deaths per 100,000 residents in the state. Even in tiny amounts, fentanyl is highly fatal, and its growing accessibility is pushing Alabama's substance abuse crisis to critical levels. Fentanyl is significantly more powerful than other opioids. Even a small dose can be deadly.
Is 2 milligrams. That is a potentially lethal dose of fentanyl.
As it's both affordable and readily available, overdose deaths have spiked sharply, with fentanyl becoming the go-to drug for many. Alabama, much like other parts of the United States, is grappling with the urgency of this epidemic and is actively searching for ways to curb the rising death toll. Fentanyl traffickers have increasingly targeted Birmingham's suburban areas, where reduced local law enforcement capacity has left communities more vulnerable to illegal drug infiltration. The shortage of police officers has made it harder to stem the spread of these drugs, allowing the trade to grow unchecked in neighborhoods once considered safe. Despite the presence of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, few appear to have the specialized training or capacity to handle the scale of organized crime involved in widespread fentanyl distribution. With limited resources, local police struggle to manage even basic crimes like theft, robbery, or drug possession, let alone the larger, more complex operations led by international drug cartels. This shortage of manpower and resources creates a gap that these criminal networks are exploiting, posing an ongoing threat to public safety and health across Alabama.
Evidently, the target is there, so it's the target, the female, and the target.
An intriguing side of Alabama culture comes to light through the documentary Bama Rush, directed by Rachel Fleet. This film dives into the intense, high-stakes world of sorority recruitment at the University of Alabama, where an event known as Rush Week unfolds. During this pivotal week, new recruits, known as potential new members, or PNMs, navigate a structured, competitive series of events as they vie for a spot in one of the school's prestigious sororities. Bama Rush peels back the layers of sorority life at the University of Alabama, delving into the social pressures, hierarchies, and cultural expectations faced by young women undergoing the recruitment process. Throughout Rush Week, PNMs not only work to present polished appearances, but must also meet high social standards and fit into the exclusive image projected by these organizations. The film highlights the immense preparation required for Rush, where every detail is scrutinized, from carefully curated outfits to essential items in their Rush bags. The documentary has gained considerable popularity on platforms like TikTok, where the hashtag #BamaRush is filled with snippets from PNM experiences, showing everything from daily outfit videos to insights on the meticulous preparations needed to make it through Rush Week. Beyond the glamour and excitement, Bama Rush sheds light on the less talked about aspects of sorority life, including the influence of a secret organization known as the Machine. Rumored to wield significant power over campus politics, the Machine is something of an open secret at the University of Alabama. Yet, few are willing to discuss it openly, fearing the risks involved in doing so. The documentary also reveals just how exclusive and competitive the recruitment process has become, with some students even hiring personal consultants to boost their chances of success during Rush Week. Through this lens, Bama Rush offers a rare and revealing look into the traditions, pressures, and complexities that define the sorority experience at one of the South's most iconic universities, capturing both the allure and the challenges that shape the lives of its young women.